Less than 2 weeks remain until the 50th running of the greatest race in the history of spring. And on this episode of the Road to the Spring Sizzler, Kyle Rickey talked to a car owner, a legendary car owner of a legendary car number in the 7NY. It's Tommy Baldwin Jr., who's teaming up with Mike Christopher Jr. for a third straight season at Stafford as they both look for their first Spring Sizzler win.
The road to the 50th NAPA Spring Sizzler rolls on now into the month of April, and the greatest race in the history of spring, just hard to believe, a couple of weeks away. Joined now by one of the owners of one of the teams that's going to be here in just a couple of weeks, Tommy Baldwin Jr., very familiar name to the world of motorsports, whether it be on the national level in the Cup Series, and more recently in the last few years here in the Modifieds. Tommy, thanks for taking some time to join us here.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here.
Before we talk about the Sizzler, you've been busy here this last, 4 or 5 weeks or so. Quite a stretch for the Smart Modifieds, the Southern Modified Tour that you guys compete in down south. And it's been pretty successful for you guys as well, coming away with a win just about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so far so good on the Smart Tour. Obviously, we're chasing the 60 car every race, and we stole one from them out of the 4, and we sit second in points. And yeah, I mean, so far so good there, and we've done pretty well in the Whelen Modified Tour so far with a third and a 7th so far, sitting second in points there as well. So, and we won the New Smyrna Championship. So yeah, so far we've had a pretty good year, and hopefully we can continue.
It's a lot of momentum coming into Stafford in about 2 weeks' time. How excited are you to be a part of this 50th Spring Sizzler?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be one of the most talked about shows of the year, and it already is, to be honest with you. And man, I'm scrambling. I'm trying to build a brand new car for it. That's how excited I am for it. So hopefully I can get it done in time. And yeah, I'm excited. Michael Christopher Jr. is pretty good at that place, and we've been pretty successful there over the last 2 or 3 years with the 7NY. So hopefully we can get our act together and put it all together for Saturday. Learn something there during the heat race and the 40-lap dash race there, and then come away with about some knowledge and bring it into the Sizzler for Sunday.
You mentioned your driver, Mike Christopher Jr., obviously a hot shoe here in the SK Modifieds, and you went to Victory Lane together with him in one of the open shows a year ago. How did you and Junior form a partnership?
I mean, obviously, it's the Christophers, right? I mean, you try to stick to what the heritage of the racing, and I've watched him since he was little grow up and become a pretty good race car driver. And I love giving younger kids a shot and seeing what they got. And obviously you try to pick the best talented ones, and he has pretty good talent.
Your dad competed in 19 Spring Sizzlers, finished on the podium a couple of times, and has a few checkered flags here in the fall final at the end of the season. What does Stafford mean to you personally, somebody that all but grew up here?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think the Spring Sizzle is the only win for myself that I don't have yet. I've between myself, crew chief, and with Jeff Fuller and Steve Park and my dad, I've won all the other races at Stafford, the tour races, some regular races, and so on. But I never gotten a Spring Sizzler, so we're going to put a lot of effort into it for sure.
The weekend, and you touched on the format a little bit ago, heat race, the NAPA Auto Part dual qualifying races, the twin 40s on Saturday, 100-lap event on Sunday. How do you work through all of that? That's a lot of racing over the course of 2 days. I mean, how do you what's the pace going to be like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I'm going to treat each one individually to learn something heading into Sunday's race. So we already have a plan. I worked on it. I did some flying the last couple of weeks, some long flights. So it allowed me to work on my strategy stuff. So we're pretty much ready to go for the weekend, and hopefully we unload pretty good so we can go as planned.
Mentioned it's a new car. Is there much that you can take away from what you've learned here the last couple of years, especially with that win with Mike a year ago, and apply it to what you bring here in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is for sure. We've learned a lot since then, what's going on with these cars. So, and it also depends on what they pour on the track for traction. It all changes. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of surprises they give us. And when we get there. And but I'm excited. I'm excited to get there and check this race out. Not only as a competitor, but as a fan, because they got Stafford, the Root family, Paul, and the guys. They definitely got a lot going into it, a lot of thought process, and I'm expecting big things for it.
I know it's going back a few years, but do you remember your first Spring Sizzler?
Oh my God. I think I was probably, oh boy, it was 40 years ago, 45 years ago. The one I remember the most was my dad built his own car, and it was a brand new Hutter engine, and he built his own car. We went and finished 5th at Martinsville, and the Spring Sizzler was pretty much right after that in the beginning of April. And he was having some overheating issues at Martinsville. It was a hot day and must have hurt the engine. And we were in the last chance race. And he blew up going into 3, and he hit a ton, and it destroyed that thing. It was poor car, had brand new car, only had 2 races on it. Took some good cars with them as well. And, hopefully we don't see any of that, this Spring Sizzler. Hopefully all the competitors have a good time, and we all learn from this, and this new tradition, so to speak, of the Sizzler takes off, and it gets growing bigger than it's always has been.
April 23rd and 24th. Can't wait. Just a couple of weeks away. Tommy, look forward to seeing you here in the pits during that weekend, and best of luck to you when you get up here.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.